Compounding usually doesn't fail because the math is wrong. It fails because people quit before the curve becomes visible. If your progress feels stalled, even though you're doing the right things, this audit is for you. We are breaking down the invisible years of growth and why your brain is wired to reject compounding early. This is not a math problem. It is a psychological endurance test, and most people lose before the system has time to work. Compounding is sold as a miracle with perfect exponential charts. But those charts hide the early years. In reality, the beginning feels broken. You invest consistently, cut spending, stay disciplined, and after months, the results barely move. Sometimes you are flat, sometimes you are behind. The curve feels like it is not working, even when it is functioning exactly as designed in its early stage. Humans expect immediate feedback. Effort should create visible results quickly, but compounding breaks that rule. You put in full effort and see almost no reward. This creates frustration. You start questioning the system. Social media amplifies it with fast gains and overnight wins. Compared to that, your slow progress feels insignificant, even though you are doing everything correctly. You are comparing your invisible phase to someone else's highlight reel. When the curve is flat, it feels like sacrifice without progress. The first $1,000 is not meant to change your life. It is meant to prove you can stay consistent. The behavior matters more than the balance. Most people quit because they want emotional validation before the system has enough time to deliver results. When you stop because progress feels slow, you don't just pause progress, you reset it. Every restart traps you in the flat section again. The early years are a trust exercise. You are building a system before it can reward you. Small wins are not financial, they are behavioral. Showing up consistently builds identity, and identity is what allows compounding to continue long enough to work. People who constantly start and stop never see progress. They invest, quit, restart, and repeat. The curve never has time to bend. Compounding rewards continuity more than intensity. A calm, repetitive system over years beats bursts of motivation. But repetition feels boring, and boring feels unrewarding. That is why the curve appears broken even when it is working correctly. Compounding is most fragile when the numbers are small. Early savings are like a small spark. Small leaks can destroy them easily. In the beginning, protection matters more than optimization. One unnecessary expense can slow momentum significantly. Most people underestimate how sensitive early compounding is to small financial leaks. Small subscriptions feel harmless. $10 or $15 doesn't trigger resistance. But these charges survive because they avoid attention. The fix is simple. If you haven't used it recently, remove it. The problem is not the amount, it is the pattern. Silent leaks prevent the system from building pressure. And without pressure, the curve never accelerates. Convenience spending feels earned after stress. But delivery fees, tips, and service costs quietly drain capital. Stress turns into spending. The fix is friction. Delay decisions. Remove saved payment methods. Convenience becomes a habit, and habits consume the fuel compounding depends on. Without leftover capital, the system cannot gain momentum. When income increases, spending increases with it. What once felt like luxury becomes normal. This is lifestyle creep. The fix is automation. Lock in savings before your lifestyle expands. Otherwise, your monthly survival cost rises, and compounding loses its consistency gap. Growth becomes illusion instead of actual progress. Every withdrawal weakens the system. Savings turn into a revolving door. Money goes in, then comes out for vacations, upgrades, or poor planning. These interruptions prevent compounding from building strength. Time requires consistency. Consistency requires protection. Without protection, the curve keeps restarting from its weakest point. Humans evolved for immediate survival. Immediate rewards mattered most. Investing demands the opposite. It asks you to delay gratification for future stability. This feels unnatural. Your brain values present comfort more than future security, making consistent investing emotionally difficult from the start. Slow growth is invisible. Invisible progress feels like failure. This creates pressure. You feel behind and try to accelerate results. That leads to strategy changes, trend chasing, and constant adjustments. The system gets disrupted because you mistake slow progress for broken progress. People think doing more will fix slow growth. But over-optimization destroys consistency. The system works best when left alone. Discipline is not exciting. The invisible years are boring by design. Most people fail because they cannot tolerate that boredom long enough. Wealth goes to the person who can endure repetition, not the smartest, not the most motivated, the one who keeps going while nothing seems to happen. Endurance becomes the advantage because most people drop out during the slow phase. Motivation is unreliable. Systems are stable. To survive the invisible years, you need systems that function without emotional input. The goal is consistency without decision-making. A system that runs automatically reduces the chance of quitting during difficult periods. Waiting to invest what's left rarely works. People prioritize current comfort. Automating contributions immediately after income ensures consistency. Even small amounts matter because they remove decision-making from the process. Treating investments like emergency funds leads to withdrawals. The fix is separation. Build a separate emergency account to protect long-term investments. Friction prevents emotional decisions that interrupt compounding. People chase better investments while ignoring waste. That is backwards. Reducing expenses increases the fuel feeding compounding. The system needs fuel before optimization matters. Large investments feel satisfying but are inconsistent. Small, consistent actions win. The never zero rule maintains identity and continuity. Even minimal contributions during hard times protect long-term momentum. Complex systems fail under stress. Simple systems survive. Automatic investing, minimal decisions, and low friction ensure long-term sustainability. The best system is the one you can continue without effort. Compounding is about survival, not intelligence. Most damage comes from interruptions, not mistakes. The curve is real, but it remains invisible longer than expected. If you don't see results, you are still building the foundation. Eventually, the system starts working for you. That is when compounding becomes visible. But this only happens if you stay consistent long enough. The breakthrough phase exists, but only for those who survive the invisible years. This week, remove one recurring expense. This month, automate one transfer. This year, commit to no withdrawals. What makes consistency hardest for you right now? Spending, impatience, emergencies, or motivation?